Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, so my name is Arnav and I am a student of Gitika ma'am, as you know, and I'm 13 years old. I
Hi.
study at Fatehgarh, yeah, so I'm very much interested in knowing about microbes.
Okay. Hi, Arnav. Who is next now, guys?
Bhavya, introduce yourself. Bhavya Roy, if she's here, then
My name is Bhavya Roy. I'm currently in class 11 and I love bio and still I'm in confusion about my stream. Uh, also, I did the activity of microbes, which interested me a lot. So,
Okay. What activity did you do exactly, Bhavya?
what? I took information about bacterial infections and researched about bacteria.
All right. Okay. Nice.
Thank
Bhavya
you.
Tripathi.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is
Hi.
Bhavya Tripathi.
Oh, we have two Bhavyas.
I am doing a research on bacteria.
Okay. Hi, Bhavya.
So next is I even don't know who is the next one. Vastika, you can come in.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
We
Hello,
have.
ma'am.
Hi.
I am Vastakarya. I'm 14 years old and I'm very interested to know about microbes, especially fungi.
Oh, you want to know about fungi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We can discuss about that. I have mainly prepared the presentation on bacteria and viruses, but we can talk about fungi too.
So Vihan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there. Hello, ma'am. My name
Hi.
is Vihan. I'm very excited to know about the fungi and other bacteria, viruses also. I'm going to be 13 years old and I am recently in 8th class.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
So Muskan is there.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hi.
I am Muskan and I'm 14 years old. I am interested in science as a subject and I really like theories, reading about theories.
So Pihu is there.
Hi, Pihu.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Fine.
My name is Pihu. I am 13 years old. I am interested in science, maths, arts, and music. And
Pihu is
my
me.
top, ma'am?
Pihu, you are like me.
Yay!
Yay.
And my topic in microbes is protozoans.
Okay.
So uh, do we have Shaurya? Has Shaurya joined in? Or do we have Tanush?
I have joined in.
Yeah.
Hello,
Please
my name
introduce.
is Shaurya and I am interested in science, computer science, and astronomy. I I am interested in viruses. I've been studying about those, and
So do we have Tanush here? Do we have Tanush? Oh, I forgot to put Tanush in the group. I'm so sorry. And oh, yeah, so he'll be here soon. We'll introduce him when he is here. Okay, so it's still calling Tanush. No problem. These are the kids. Tanush, are you here?
Mom, can I introduce myself?
Oh, sorry. I am so sorry, Hansika. I'm so sorry. Hansika, please introduce yourself.
Hello, mom. My name is Hansika, and I'm 12 years old, and I'm currently in 8th grade.
Hi,
And I'm
Ansika.
really interested in knowing more about microbes, and my topic is bacteria.
Okay.
हाँ मैम मैं अभी ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ.
Tanush, aa jao.
Okay मैम.
Okay, so please, Tanush, introduce yourself. Dr. Umang is here.
Hello everybody. My name is
Hi,
Tanush.
Tanush.
My name is Tanush Agrawal. I am from India, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and I am from class 7th in Amity International School, Noida. Thank you.
Hi, Tanush. Nice to meet you. So, ma'am, have we introduced everyone now?
Yes, we have.
Okay, fine. So, guys, first of all, before starting, see, I don't know, you are from 10 years to 14 years, right? So, I don't know how much you have already studied into the subject, how much you
So
already know about
basically,
microbes.
we are 12 to 14 right now, 12 to 15.
12, 15. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if the curriculum has changed right now. I don't know. But in ninth and 10th, I think they do tell us a lot about all the fungi and the bacteria and viruses and all, a lot of theoretical stuff. So today what I'll be discussing is more of practical basis. All right. My presentation is more about bacterial and fungal infections. Sorry, bacterial and viral infections. But if any of you have any questions about fungal infections too, you can always ask me. All right, we can discuss a little bit more about that. Although it's not in my presentation. Okay. Whatever I'll be discussing
So,
over here is pretty
Umang,
basic.
we'll have a Q&A session. Kids will be putting up questions in the chat box.
Okay, ma'am.
You keep on doing
Okay,
the
ma'am.
presentation, and they'll be putting it in on the chat box, and we'll take up last 10 minutes in answering the questions. Would it be
Okay.
fine?
Yeah, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Also, I would like to say one more thing before I start presenting. So, the theoretical part of all of this, the microbes and all, I have lost a lot of touch with all those things because as you start coming towards the clinical field, you start losing touch with the theory. So, maybe you guys, because you're studying the subject right now, will know a little more theoretical stuff than me. So if you guys have any queries, I'll try to solve them right now. But even if I can't tell you the answers right now, I'll definitely get back to you with all the answers, okay? Because I have all the text and all. So if you guys have any queries, you can ask me.
Hello, we lost Umang, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, ma'am, I lost the connection. Yeah. Hello.
Okay, so Umang, they are means they'll be knowing the microbes because they have been studying it.
Yes, ma'am.
So they want to know a doctor's point of view.
Yeah,
How
correct.
do a doctor comes to know that? Because it's something very intriguing that three different diseases are termed as three different things, and they are of three different done by microbes. So how does a doctor come to know about that thing? So that I think most of the questions will come into that
Sure,
perspective,
sure.
and it will be more of your
Ma'am.
practical knowledge,
Even
which
my presentation even my presentation focuses on those aspects. It's more on practical basis, what you guys should look for, what we look for, and how do we go about signs and symptoms and everything. Okay. So, ma'am, I'll start sharing the slides now. Okay, just a minute.
I would be encouraging all the students. You have questions, please keep on posting questions in the chat box, and the questions will be taken up in the later by Dr. Umang Agrawal. Okay?
Ma'am, I'm trying to share the screen. I'm figuring it out. Can you see the slides yet? Slides are not appearing, right? Are they appearing? They're appearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, guys. So basically, the presentation will be more about bacterial and viral infections, which are definitely much more common than fungal infection. Okay. So everything I'll be discussing is pretty basic and pretty practical. But you have any questions, you put that up. All right. So when we talk about infections, any disease that is caused to our body which is infectious. Okay. So first of all, diseases also, I would like to tell you, they're not always infectious. They can be some problem inside from within the body, like liver cirrhosis or some cardiac problems which are not related to microbes. So those are different category of diseases. The diseases that we'll be dealing with today are infectious. So infectious disease also can be caused by 4 types of pathogens, which are viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungi, which I'm sure you guys already know, right? So today, mainly the presentation will be about differentiating and how to go about bacterial infections and viral infections. Why I have picked these two up mainly is because viral and bacterial infections are the most common. Like everyday body, you and I, all of us, we all have some kind of infections going on in our body, which are most of the time viral and bacterial. So we should know about them. This slide, I put it up because you guys have been studying, so you'll know basic difference between bacteria and virus. The bacteria, their appearance is slightly different from virus. Virus usually have a core. I don't know if can I use a pointer over here. I don't know. Can you see my cursor also, guys?
Yes.
Are you able to see my? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your.
Okay, so usually viruses, they'll have a core, central core, which will have RNA or DNA, depending upon what kind of cells they infest. Okay, and over it, they'll have some proteins which help them attaching to the cells which they're going to infect. So they look something like this, which is like very funky and like scientific kind of stuff. I really like the appearance of viruses. Anyway, bacteria usually they have different appearances. They can be circular, round. They can be in rod shape. They can be spiral. They can be in groups of 2 or more than 2. Over here you can see two circles connected. It looks like a capsule. Over here you can see 2 rods connected. These are single rods. Over here you can see there are some flagellae coming out of their bodies. So this why I put this slide is because this helps microbiologists to identify what exactly is causing that particular infection when later on we come to diagnostics. Okay, I think this, okay, yeah. So now coming to source of infection, as you guys already know, so sources can be either from a person who is infected, or which is most of the time, by the way, in our infections, 99% of time the source of infection is another infected person. And other times it can also be through animals. So that time we call such diseases as zoonosis. Modes of infectious disease transmission. So one, I told you that there is human to human transmission. Other thing that can happen is something in environment other than humans, right? So one is animal vectors, which like mosquitoes, they cause malaria, dengue. These are parasitic diseases. Fleas, they can cause plague. Then other things that recently also is very popular these days is abiotic environmental factors. What we mean by that is abiotic. Biotic means anything living. Abiotic means something which is not living, right? So abiotic environmental factors like wind and water, they can also carry the infection. How? If I have a disease, suppose respiratory infection, I cough, I leave some droplets into air, and those droplets which contain the microbes will stay in air for some time, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours, depending on what kind of microbe it is. If a person passes through the same area and inhales those droplets, that person is going to get infection. Same with water. Some animal infection, animal passes urine into water body. In the urine there is some parasite, some bacteria is there, and I come in contact with that water, so that bacteria or that parasite might penetrate through my skin, either through the intact skin or if there are some cuts in my skin, and enter my body and cause infection. Okay, So this is what we call as transmission other than human to human transmission, which they have broadly categorized into general transmission. Then comes human to human transmission. Now human to human transmission also can be by direct contact. That's why these days, you know, corona is going on, so we say don't shake hands, say namaste, all those things. That comes from direct contact. This also, by the way, these things, the transmission, it depends a lot upon how virulent is a microbe. A microbe's capability of infecting other person. Okay, so direct contact, not all the microbes can infect by direct contact. It's very few of them. Indirect contact, the example is by HIV, herpes virus, and Ebola. Indirect contact is I coughed, I opened the door. The doorknob has the infection now. Someone else comes, opens the door, and rubs nose or something like that. So that bacteria has directly been inoculated on the body of the other person. So this is what we call as indirect contact. Examples are influenza and norovirus. They usually spread like that. Then droplets, which I already explained. This, which I explained earlier, was by wind, abiotic. That is the droplets that stay in air for some time. The droplet transmission that we're talking over here is direct. Like I am talking to Pihu, and Pihu coughs and Pihu has infection. I'm standing right there, so I'll get the droplets and I'll get the infection. So this is what we're talking about over here in human to human transmission. This happens in Ebola, Bordetella, and a lot of other diseases like tuberculosis. You've heard of it. So all those diseases, they have droplet transmission. Then there's something called as airborne. Airborne is almost similar to what I've explained earlier. The droplets will remain in the air, inhaled by someone else. In again, influenza, tuberculosis, they all are airborne also. Then is fecal oral. Usually, there's some disturbance above. Yeah, so fecal oral transmission is usually in the pathogens which cause gastrointestinal problems, right? Like typhoid, cholera. You've heard of typhoid Mary, right? So in that, basically, when we are how to defecating, yeah, when we are defecating, that time after that, if you're not washing hands properly, and if I have infection, so my hands will still have some bacteria. Now after that, I cook food. Okay, so that food will also have the same bacteria because I cooked it with dirty hands. Now that food will be consumed by someone else. So that someone else will get the infection. And that someone will have the same infection which I had. This is called fecal oral transmission because it started from defecation. So it's called fecal oral transmission. This happens in cholera, norovirus, and Shigella. Shigella is also another gastrointestinal microbe. Now coming to bacteria. Bacteria, you know, are single-celled microorganisms that are present everywhere. They are present in air, they are present in soil, they are present in water, plants, on animals, on plants, and also inside animals. Like within our body, we have millions of bacteria which are functioning with us to help us function regularly, basically. And most of the bacteria, including those in the intestines, are harmless, and they actually help us by digesting food and destroying other disease causing microbes. So there's something called as competition over here. Okay, so there is a good bacteria and there's a bad bacteria. Our body has good bacteria. As long as good bacteria is strong and it has the whole army, the bad bacteria will not be able to affect us. But sometimes what happens is that the good bacteria start dying because we're not eating right, we're not resting right or anything. So that time the bad bacteria can take over our body, and that is when we get the infections, the diseases. And what has been told in studies is that fewer than 1% of all the bacteria that exist, also not all the bacteria that exist we know of, but this is what we're talking about, the bacteria that we already know in literature. So fewer than 1% of those bacteria causes disease in people. Other are usually helpful to us. Now, over here I've listed some of very common bacterial infections. There's a huge list of bacterial infections which is beyond the scope of discussion of this webinar. But the common ones I have put over here. So we can mainly divide these infections depending on the system they're affecting. So if gastrointestinal tract is affected, which is GIT, then we can, the common bacteria that affect are cholera disease, which is caused by Vibrio cholerae bacteria, and typhoid, which is caused by Salmonella typhi. Skin disorders में leprosy comes and anthrax comes. Leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, and anthrax is caused by Bacillus anthracis. Leprosy, we usually this Mycobacterium leprae is usually transmitted through droplets, but it causes skin infection. It will also have manifestations like people's face become weird, they have nodules all over their faces, they stop feeling sensation in their hands and other parts of body. Anthrax is transmitted by skin. So anthrax is a zoonosis disease. It basically the bacteria stays in the wool, the skin of the animals, sheeps and all the herd animals. So the people who are related to that field, who work in that field, usually get it directly through the skin. Through the skin, the bacteria gets inoculated on the human skin, and that is how then ulcers start forming, and it's like it's a bad skin infection. So it's caused by Bacillus anthracis. Then respiratory के अंदर जो हमारे bacterial infections आते हैं, most common that we hear of in India at least is tuberculosis, which is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is also caused by other species of mycobacteria, which is not very important for you guys. It's important to know that's caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, right? And then comes the whooping cough. Whooping cough is caused by Bordetella pertussis. Diphtheria, if you have heard of it, diphtheria also it causes very severe coughing in patients. This is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. And then pneumonia. Pneumonia is a very pneumonia as such, I will say, is like whooping cough, tuberculosis are specific diseases. Pneumonia is not a specific disease. Pneumonia is a respiratory infection, basically an infection that is affecting our lungs. It can be caused by bacteria, it can be caused by viruses, it can be caused by parasites, it can also be caused by the fungi. But most common causes of pneumonia are Streptococci pneumoniae and Staphylococcus aureus, both of which are bacteria. Also, another very important organism which causes pneumonia is H. influenzae virus. Now, viruses, as I told you earlier, they have a small core in the center which might contain RNA, DNA, single stranded or double stranded, surrounded by proteins which help them attach and attack the cells. So viruses are smaller than bacteria. A lot of viruses also attack the bacteria, okay? So viruses are smaller than bacteria and they cannot survive without a living host. They have to be in a cell to survive, otherwise the virus dies. A virus attaches itself to the cells and usually reprograms them to reproduce. But they're very smart, okay? So through these proteins, they'll go and attach to a cell, leave the RNA or DNA inside the cell, and then they start taking over whole of machinery of the cell and start producing everything that they want for their survival. And then they transmit their products to other cells, and this process keeps going on, okay? So basically they're converting the cells, they're making the host ka cells their own. Now, viral infections, the viruses, most of the times they cause diseases and they require either vaccinations to prevent them in the first place, like with vaccinations against polio and measles. You must have heard polio vaccine and measles, MMR vaccine, rubella vaccine and all. Or antiviral drugs. I'll discuss about the drugs later. Now, few of the diseases that you've heard of, viral diseases are HIV, AIDS, polio, common cold, herpes, mumps. Some diarrheal disease can also be caused by viruses. Ebola was in news quite a few days back. Rubella, influenza, meningitis, rabies, yellow fever, measles, hepatitis. Most of these viruses also have vaccinations. You guys must have heard about immunization program, right? National immunization program. So since we're born, we on regular intervals, we are given some vaccinations. Those vaccinations are to protect us from most of these viruses. All right, that's why it is that we all are immune to it and we don't get these infections that often. So first I'll be talking about what can we do from on our level, what can we do to stay healthy, right? So first thing that comes is vaccination. Okay, now how vaccination works is that a virus has strains. Virus is basically a microbe which has its own property. So in laboratory, what we do is we culture those viruses under different conditions and we try to obtain a strain which is not very infectious to the patient. Like if suppose a virus causes a disease, okay, so now a virus, if you put inside my body, I'll get the disease with all those severe symptoms and everything. But I want to obtain a strain, something called as a minus, which will cause a disease enough in my body to produce immunity, but it won't cause that severe signs and symptoms that I will be very sick and I'll have to take medications for it. Okay, so a weakened strain form of the disease germ is injected into the body, and because as soon as infection enters our body tries to defend our body. Okay, so it will produce an army which we call as antibodies. Okay, so this antibodies basically अभी infection होने से पहले ही हमारी body में हमने infection जैसा कुछ डाल दिया, तो ऑलरेडी हमारी बॉडी के अंदर एंटीबॉडीज बन गया है. तो अब जब एक्चुअल डिजीज कम्स, एक्चुअल जर्म एंटर्स द बॉडी, दैट टाइम हमारा आर्मी ऑलरेडी तैयार है क्योंकि हमने ट्रेनिंग दे दिया उसे. सो इम्यूनाइजेशन, वैक्सीनेशन इज काइंड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग body to fight against the actual infection. So vaccination is a very, 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 very important thing, guys. I cannot stress it enough. I know that you people know it, but since you're going to spread it to other people also, you must stress it, because people have started taking it in a very light way, and it should not be taken like that. Okay, then we can also on our level we can look for some symptoms like sore throat, pain in muscles, cough, rhinitis is irritation in nose, watering from eyes, itching in nose, and continuous cold or running nose, then fever, headache, all these symptoms. If you get these symptoms, the first thing you do is you try to not give these symptoms to other people. So you wear mask, you don't go out much, take rest, all these things. Okay, so and not what other thing we can do is prevention. Like we should not get these problems in first place. So you should try to drink warm water at least when the weather is cold. Try to drink warm water, rinse hands, not just during the time of corona but otherwise also, before corona also and after corona also. Rinse hands properly, it is very important. You should eat a lot of vitamin C and green vegetables. That helps to build immunity in the body. It also helps to keep all the good bacteria in the body alive. Okay, then when if you have the symptoms or the people around you have symptoms, you should wear a protection mask so that you don't give your infection to other people. You should exercise. Exercise again helps build a very good immunity in body, and a good rest is also very important. Now once we start getting symptoms, what I told above, sore throat, pain in muscle, and running nose and all those things, we usually go to doctors, which we should. A lot of people avoid doing that. They keep waiting for their condition to worsen, but we should try to consult doctor as soon as possible. So now when we go to doctor, what all we should expect, and this is basically what we as doctors do. I'll be discussing that now. Okay, so first we'll take history. History includes what problem you have, what all symptoms you have, when did you develop it, uh, has it been continuously there or has it been intermittently there, is it associated with any other symptoms. So if something as simple as running nose, cold, if a patient comes to me with cold, I'll have to ask since when the patient has it, if the patient has fever or no, if the patient also has cough. All these things help me differentiate, first of all, know what is the severity of the disease, and secondly, it also helps me know if the disease is bacterial or viral. And I'll explain that later, how it will help us differentiate. Then we do a physical examination. So physical examination has two things. One is general physical examination and the other is local examination. So if I have a throat infection, so I will first look at throat, see what all problems are there, what all findings I can see, what all changes I can see, and then I'll also go for a general physical examination. I'll take temperature, I'll take BP, I'll look for heart rate, I'll look for respiratory rate. Then I'll look if the eyes of the patient are red. I'll look if the patient also has cold. I'll also throughout the body we have to see, because sometimes the infections, bacterial and viral infections, they'll cause a general infection. So on skin also there could be like measles, mumps and all, they'll have some rashes on the skin. So that might give us some clue to what the disease might be. So the general physical, full head to toe examination is also very important. Okay, so when you go to a doctor and you are saying ki I have throat infection, they start examining you like other systems of your body. Don't be confused. Like Sometimes we'll be like, I am talking about throat. Why are you asking me about my bowel and bladder? So there's a reason behind it. Just go with it and trust your doctor. Okay. And after that, once we have done the examination, we want to confirm that we'll have a suspicion that okay, this might be the disease, but then we want to confirm it with some tests. So for the test we need to do sample collection, which will include taking throat swab, taking urine sample, taking blood sample or something, all those things, and then come the test. All those samples that we have taken, we'll put them through a series of tests. Some are regular tests like CBC. CBC is complete blood count, which we'll see hemoglobin, we'll see RBC count, we'll see WBC counts, we'll see platelet counts, all these things. Urine tests we're taking, so we might just do a general culture and sensitivity of the urine. We'll do microscopy if we can see any microbe in the urine. We'll see if the color of the urine is okay. So all these come under the routine examination. And then there are specific tests which are specific to some particular strain of bacteria, particular strain of virus, which I have a form later on. I'll show you that, so that time I'll discuss about it. Okay, so first I'll be talking about history and examination. Okay, so things like, do the patient have a fever? Do you have a fever? What does fever tell us? So viral infection usually has a fever, but it will be a low grade fever. Okay, usually if the fever is the infection is because of a bacteria, the fever will be high grade. So suppose body ka regular temperature is 98.6 K around, right? So if it's viral infection, the patient will maximum present with like 99, 100 degree. But bacterial infection, it can go up as much as 103, 104. Also, but again, all these things which I'll be talking are general, like the common things I'm talking about. It does not mean that in viral infections, the temperature might not go as high as 104 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. So we have to be clear about those things. These are just more common scenarios which I'll be talking about. Now, then we'll be asking about if the patient has been sick for long. Viral infections have a tendency to go on for a very long time. Okay, they might, the symptoms might resolve, they might become milder, but they virus once infects a body, it makes our immune system weak because it starts taking over the cells, right? So it goes on for a very long time, and when it goes on for a very long time and our body becomes weak, over that we start getting bacterial infection also. So that's why usually when the infection was viral in origin, the disease might go on for a longer time. Then if you are coming to me with cold, right, or you're coming to me with cough and you have some phlegm also, so with that is very important for us to know what the positive organism could be. Okay, so the color of it is very important. So if from now on you get cough or you get cold and you are trying to clean your nose, or you're throwing expelling out the egg, you put on the sputum, so you notice the color of it. Okay, if it's clear, then it's normal. Clear and thin means it's normal. You don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you get some allergies because of that, you understand. Okay, if it's white, gray and thick, so that usually means that you have a viral infection. If that white sputum starts turning into yellow, today it is white, tomorrow also it's white, but day after tomorrow I see that my sputum has become yellow. So when you see yellow or green, that means you have developed a bacterial infection. Okay, and bacterial infection means that you have to go and visit doctor because you will need antibiotics to treat it. Okay, and so from yellow to green, the only difference between yellow to green sputum is that yellow is the milder form of infection. When the infection becomes more and more severe, the sputum is start turning into green. Red and frothy means a very severe infection. Whenever we say frothy sputum, that means it's coming from your lungs, not from your upper respiratory tract. It's coming from your lungs. So that time it is a very serious condition. If anything like that happens, you have to visit doctor. Red means that blood is involved somewhere. The infection is so severe that it is affecting the surface of your respiratory tract, and the surface is excoriated and the blood vessels are exposed, and now the blood is coming out. So that means you have to understand that it's very serious and you should go to the doctor as soon, like immediately, not as soon as possible, immediately. Then also in examination we'll see how throat look like. This will also sometimes give us a lot of clue, because if it's viral infection, the throat, when I examine oral cavity, the throat will look red. It will look very red, but that is it. Like that is the only thing change I'll be able to see. But if it's a bacterial infection, I might see some white spots. I might see some other ulcers and all those things. So this is also important. We should see the appearance of throat also. Then I told you, then we come to sampling. So we take blood samples, we take urine. This is not always we require these testing. Sometimes the symptom, most of the time when you people come to OPD with the things like cough and cold, we know what is the problem. Usually it's viral followed by bacterial with superimposed bacterial infection. So we give a course of antibiotics. Not always do we have to go for testing first. So we give a course of antibiotics and see if it's effective. Okay, if within 2-3 days you feel better, that means our suspicion and our treatment was correct. If after that also the condition is not improving, then we may go ahead with all the sampling. But sometimes the patient comes to us where we can't understand what the actual problem is, or the patient is very serious. That time, before giving treatment only, we should go for all the sampling and all the testing. So we'll take blood samples, we'll take urine samples, and in case of upper respiratory throat and tract infections, we'll also take throat swabs. Then after we collect all these samples, what do we do with the samples? Blood तो ले लिया, but अब उसके बाद उसके साथ क्या करते हैं blood के साथ? So there are two things mainly that we look. Okay, we mainly broadly categorize the testing into two. One is biochemical and one is microbiological. So in microbiological, we'll do microscopy, in which we'll try to see if we can directly visualize any bacteria or any pus cells or any viruses. So all those things के लिए we'll do microscopy. Sometimes we'll just एक sample लिया, उसका slide बनाया, observe किया microscope के अंदर, and there you can see it. But it's not always that easy. Okay. So when you can't visualize it directly, we go with culture and sensitivity. So what does culture and sensitivity mean? So throat swab, we took a throat swab. Okay. Now throat swab has some microbe on it. It could be bacteria, it could be virus, it could be fungi, anything. Okay. Now that bacteria, but is not, their number is not large enough ki I'll put it on slide and the probability is very low that I'll be able to see it directly. So what we do is, what we developed, the technique we developed is that we know that these bacteria, these viruses, they need some kind of medium to grow. Like they grow in a throat. Some of them needs blood to grow. Some of them needs, like fungi, they need something waste and degrading to grow. So all those things. So we put those samples in different mediums and we wait for their growth. That is what we call as culture. So वहाँ पे grow हो जाएगा, the colonies increase so much that now we can directly observe it. If we try to observe, the probability of finding the organism is much higher. Also, without microscopy also we can find out how. Because first of all, I told you every organism will grow in different type of medium. Okay, so that also first of all selective mediums. So it will help us identify what organism it might be. Then next thing we come to is sensitivity. Now what is sensitivity exactly over here is we're talking about the medications. Okay, so for treatment of any infection we'll give medication, especially for bacteria we'll give antibiotics. So not all the antibiotics are effective against all the organisms. So what we do is, over here you see a plate. This is called a culture medium. The plate, this yellow thing is the medium. We have also put, so this over here we throat swab jo liya, you just put it around over the plate. After this, what you do is, these small tablets you see, right? These small tablets are infused in different antibiotics. Okay, over here this is the sample could be blood, could be serum, could be throat swab. उसको plate पे डाला, then छोटा टैबलेट लिया जो अलग अलग एंटीबायोटिक है, एंड देन हमने उसको वहाँ पे रहने दिया फॉर 2-3 days. अब 2-3 days के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, द बैक्टीरिया विल ऑल्सो स्टार्ट ग्रोइंग, एंड कहीं कहीं पे यू सी ये ऐसे हेलो टाइप दिख रहा है. So this shows that the bacteria which started growing in this medium has been killed by this. The growth is not around this antibiotic. It is the maximum, तो maximum potency इस एंटीबायोटिक का दिख रहा है हमें यहाँ पे. इससे छोटा सर्कल हमें यहाँ दिख रहा है. इसका मतलब ये एंटीबायोटिक भी इफेक्टिव है, बट नॉट एज मच एज दिस एंटीबायोटिक. इसके चारों तरफ भी दिख रहा है, बट ये तो बहुत ही कम इफेक्टिव है, क्योंकि ग्रोथ तो हो ही है इसके चारों तरफ, कम हुई है पर हुई है, एंड दिस एंटीबायोटिक इज नॉट एट ऑल इफेक्टिव. सो जब हम रिपोर्ट्स कभी कभी देखा होगा मम्मा पापा का या आरसेल्स ओनली, हम कभी कभी अपना टेस्टिंग कराते हैं तो रिपोर्ट में आता है एंटीबायोटिक कल्चर सेंसिटिव में रेजिस्टेंट टू दिस एंटीबायोटिक, सेंसिटिव टू दिस, SNR लिख के आता है. तो S मतलब सेंसिटिव, दिस इज सेंसिटिव. ओके, माइक्रोब इज सेंसिटिव टू दिस एंटीबायोटिक. R मतलब दिस, microbe is resistant to this antibiotic. So this is just the basic that when you're going for testing and all, you should know that what exactly is happening over there. So this form I put up for you guys. Actually, I was thinking I should have gotten a form of all the forms from my hospital, but I totally forgot about that. So this I found online only and put it up. So this is a very detailed investigation form. All of this you might not know, you don't have to know about all of it, but few of them I would like to emphasize on. So one thing we go for most of the time is hematology. Hematology matlab blood ka study is hematology. Okay, so blood picture gives us a lot of idea as to what the also when we are seeing a patient as a doctor, मेरा सिर्फ एक concern नहीं होता है कि कौन सा organism ने infection किया है. I also have to see कि उस organism ने infection करने के बाद क्या क्या problem create कर दिया. Sometimes the patient has anemia infection की वजह से. WBC increase होता है क्योंकि body में infection है. बॉडी में इन्फेक्शन है उसकी वजह से अनीमिया हो सकता है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स दे विल नॉट टेल एग्जैक्टली कि एग्जैक्टली कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म है, बट ये सब हमें बताते हैं कि बॉडी में कुछ तो गड़बड़ चल रहा है, क्या क्या गड़बड़ हो गई है एंड क्या क्या हमें सही करना पड़ेगा. तो अलॉन्ग विद एंटीबायोटिक्स हीमोग्लोबिन इज वेरी लो. आई विल आल्सो स्टार्ट गिविंग साथ में some iron or some iron supplements or something. Then coagulation profile. You have heard about dengue fever. Dengue fever के अंदर what happens is हमारा coagulation starts getting deteriorated. So कहीं पे भी चोट लगेगा it will start bleeding एकदम से. So अगर डेंगू फीवर है, पेशेंट के पास फीवर के साथ आया, जॉइंट पेन के साथ आया, all these things, and then you do a blood profile and then you see कि उसका coagulation तो कम हो चुका है. तो coagulation कम हो गया है. अब ये सब हमारी जो पिक्चर बनी है साथ में कि उसको फीवर भी था, उसको क्या कहते हैं, उसको जॉइंट पेन भी हो रहा था, उसको ब्लीडिंग भी हो रहा है, उसका कोएगुलेशन कम है, तो हमारा अपने आप से दिमाग जाएगा, हम सोचेंगे डेंगू फीवर की वजह से है. एंड ऑल्सो यूजुअली ऐसे जो फीवर्स होते हैं तो आसपास और केसेस स्टार्ट कमिंग अप, लाइक you'll see 2-3 पेशेंट्स एक साथ आएंगे, एक के बाद एक के बाद एक, आज आए कल आए परसों आए, विद सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ पिक्चर. ओके, देन व्हाट वी डू इज इम्यूनोलॉजी. इम्यूनोलॉजी इज study of immune system. Okay, immune system ka study is called immunology. Immunology not always do we have to do, but immunology is very specific for the strains of microbes that might have affected us. So my body mein jab infection hua, I told you it starts creating antibodies. So immunology में हम क्या करते हैं, हम देखते हैं कि बॉडी के अंदर कौन सा एंटीबॉडी है. ठीक है, अभी हमें पता चल गया कि अगर सपोज मेरे को वैक्सीनेशन इस पर्टिकुलर इन्फेक्शन का नहीं मिला, मैंने टेस्टिंग किया, सपोज कौन सा लेते हैं हम यहाँ पे, कोरोना ले लेते हैं. कोरोना चल रहा है ना आजकल, अभी तो कोरोना इतना एडवांस्ड है नहीं कि वी नो सो मच अबाउट इट, बट सपोज कोरोना का तो कोई वैक्सीन है नहीं अभी तक, बट मुझे टेस्ट किया उन्होंने 2 साल बाद एंड मेरी बॉडी के अंदर कोरोना के अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडीज निकली. इसका मतलब कि कोरोना का इन्फेक्शन हुआ है बॉडी के अंदर. एंड अगर मेरे सिम्टम्स और साइंस वगैरह उस समय मिलते हैं टू द कोरोना का फुल सिंड्रोम दैट इज देयर, देन द डायग्नोसिस इज क्लियर. सेम हेपेटाइटिस वगैरह भी होता है. हेपेटाइटिस के अंदर भी इफ द एंटीबॉडीज आर देयर इन द बॉडी, हेपेटाइटिस की हम वैक्सीनेशन भी देते हैं, बट वैक्सीनेशन विल प्रोड्यूस इतना एंटीबॉडीज. इफ इतने एंटीबॉडी से इतना एंटीबॉडीज हो गया हमारी बॉडी के अंदर, देन वी विल सस्पेक्ट कि अभी तो इन्फेक्शन हो गया है. So immunology helps us to know exactly what infection has happened in the body. But हम सब कुछ, अब इसमें भी क्या important होता है कि as a doctor I can't give all the test. अगर गीतिका मैम मेरे पास आ रही हैं तो मैं क्यों चाहूँगी कि मैं उनका इतना ब्लड निकालूं कि उनको सारे टेस्ट कराने के लिए तो उनको अपना मतलब बहुत सारा ब्लड देना पड़ जाएगा. So it depends on the symptoms. Okay. Then comes the urine study that I was talking about. Urine study के अंदर the basic that we do is color of the urine, pH of the urine. If all those things will tell us at least कि infection है या नहीं है. अगर है तो उसके बाद आता है कि कौन सा इन्फेक्शन है, तो उसके अंदर हम करेंगे कि WBCs के हमारे यूरिन के अंदर पसल ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए, पर अगर है तो ज़्यादा है तो मतलब कौन सा इन्फेक्शन हो सकता है, कितना ज़्यादा है. देन उसके बाद फिर फ्यू प्रोटीन्स एंड फ्यू एंटीबॉडीज अगेन विल try to test in urine which will get us to a diagnosis कि हाँ इस microbe ने हमें infect किया होगा. Then microbiology is what I have already talked about. We'll do culture sensitivity, blood culture मतलब blood का हमने sample लेके उसको culture किया. Then stool culture, अगर तुम्हें diarrhea हो गया तो that time sample जो हम लेंगे वो blood से ज़्यादा reliable sample will be stool. तो स्टूल को कल्चर करेंगे एंड देन विल ट्राई टू सी कि कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म है. एंड देन ब्लड बैंक, दिस ब्लड बैंक के भी हम करवाते हैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. अगर हम इन्वेस्टिगेशन दे रहे हैं तो विल एटलीस्ट गेट ब्लड ग्रुपिंग डन. सो दैट्स इम्पोर्टेंट. मतलब इतना कोई इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं होता, बट इन केस तुम्हारा कंडीशन इतना सिवियर है दैट यू हैव टू गेट एडमिटेड एंड योर हीमोग्लोबिन इज वेरी लो, that time we'll have to transfuse you with blood. So that time it comes in very handy. उस समय तुम्हें अलग से करवाने का जरूरत नहीं है because you already have gotten it done earlier. उसके बाद this was all the investigations that we do in lab. Okay, next we come to is imaging. Imaging मतलब क्या होता है? CT scan, MRI scan, X-ray, ultrasound, all these things come under imaging. Imaging gives us an एक्स्ट्रा एक साथ में दे देता है कि सपोज ट्यूबरकुलोसिस, दिस पिक्चर दैट फर्स्ट वन आई हैव पुट इज एन एक्सरे पीए व्यू ऑफ चेस्ट. ओके, सो इन दिस हमारा लंग्स जो होता है इसके ना बहुत सारा वाइट 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 ऐसे दिख रहा है ना. सो यूजुअली इसका मतलब है कि लंग में कोई डिजीज है. उसके बाद हर डिजीज का एक अलग टाइप का पैटर्न होता है, तो वो धीरे धीरे पढ़ते पढ़ते समझ आने लगता है कि अच्छा ये वाला लंग में ऊपर ज्यादा दिख रहा है वाइट वाइट, तो ये उस ऑर्गेनिज्म की वजह से होगा. इसमें नीचे ज़्यादा दिख रहा है तो ये शायद ऑर्गेनिज्म की वजह से नहीं, ये बहुत सारा सिलिकॉन किसी ने इनहेल कर लिया उसकी वजह से हो गया. ये पूरा का पूरा लंग हमें ऐसा दिख रहा है तो इसका मतलब हम नोड्यूल्स भी दिख रहा है कहीं कहीं पे, तो इसका मतलब ये ट्यूबरकुलोसिस हो सकता है. तो और पेशेंट को कॉफ भी है, पेशेंट को आराम भी नहीं पड़ रहा है एंटीबायोटिक से. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स अल्टीमेटली लीड टू डायग्नोसिस कि ओके दिस कुड बी टीबी. देन दिस इज CT scan. CT scan of over here. ओके, सो दिस इज CT PNS. वी कॉल PNS इज पैरानेजल साइनसेस. यहाँ पे हमें आईज दिख रहे हैं, ये नोज वाला एरिया है, ये नोज के अंदर का कैविटी है विच आई विल नॉट बी एक्सप्लेनिंग इतना डिटेल में. सो कुछ भी अगर इन्फेक्शन होता है तो बॉडी के अंदर कुछ ना कुछ चेंजेस होता है. हाथ में मच्छर काट लेता है तो सूज जाता है ना वो. सो बॉडी ट्राइज टू प्रोटेक्ट एवरीथिंग. लाइक कुछ भी हमारी बॉडी के अंदर एंटर करेगा तो बॉडी के अंदर एक मैकेनिज्म होता है कि वो उसको वॉल ऑफ कर दे. तो यहाँ पे मच्छर ने काटा, उसने कुछ तो अंदर डाला हमारी बॉडी के अंदर, तो हमारी बॉडी ने एकदम से बहुत सारे सेल्स वहाँ पे भेज दिए जिससे कि वो वाला जो भी उसने लिक्विड हमारी बॉडी के अंदर डाला है वो और कहीं पे स्प्रेड ही ना हो पाए. तो वहाँ पे तभी हमें फूला फूला दिखता है. हाथ में स्क्रैच आ गया या चोट लग गई तो हम देखते हैं कि वहाँ पे सूजन आ जाती है. तो ऑल दोज थिंग्स, स्वेलिंग और चेंज इन द नॉर्मल अपीयरेंस, इट शोज दैट बॉडी इज ट्राइंग टू वॉल ऑफ समथिंग. सो अगर हमें CT स्कैन पे नॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर्स कुछ अजीब से दिख रहे हैं तो उसमें हम बता सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे कोई तो डिजीज है एंड क्या कितना उसका एक्सटेंट है. देन वी कम टू ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन के बारे में पहले हम बात करेंगे. सो बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन के लिए वी हैव टू गिव एंटीबायोटिक्स. ओके, लेकिन अब क्या प्रॉब्लम होता है बैक्टीरिया के साथ? दे आर वेरी स्मार्ट. मैंने आज एंटीबायोटिक लिया स्टैफिलोकोकस ऑरियस के लिए और मैंने वो अच्छे से नहीं लिया. मैंने आज सुबह लिया, रात का डोज मिस कर दिया, फिर कल लिया. तो कल सुबह तक ना वो बैक्टीरिया जो वीक हो गया था लेकिन मरा नहीं था, उस बैक्टीरिया को टाइम मिल गया कि वो अपने बॉडी को ऐसे मॉडिफाई कर ले कि नाउ दैट मेडिसिन डज नॉट एक्ट ओनली ऑन इट. सो बैक्टीरिया हैव अ वे ऑफ अडेप्टिंग. सो द एंटीबायोटिक से दे बिकम रेजिस्टेंट. सो एंटीबायोटिक स्टॉप वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स देम एनीमोर. एंड ये किस वजह से होता है? ओवर यूज़ की वजह से भी होता है. क्यों? क्योंकि ओवर यूज़ की वजह से क्या होगा कि हमारी बॉडी के जो नॉर्मल फ्लोरा है, जो अच्छे वाले बैक्टीरिया हैं वो खत्म हो जाते हैं जिसकी वजह से बैड बैक्टीरिया टेक्स ओवर. ओके, जब बैड बैक्टीरिया टेक्स ओवर तो अब बहुत सारा हो जाता है उनका पॉपुलेशन. तो एंटीबायोटिक्स को जो हम नॉर्मल एंटीबायोटिक दे रहे थे वो उसकी क्वांटिटी कम पड़ जाती है. क्वांटिटी कम पड़ गई तो वापस से वो वीक हुआ लेकिन मरा नहीं, एंड इसकी वजह से द बैक्टीरिया गेट्स टाइम to become resistant to the antibiotic. Similarly, not following the proper dose. तो ये सब चीज़ें हमें अवॉइड करना चाहिए. तो इसलिए एंटीबायोटिक शुड बी टेकन एग्जैक्टली how they are prescribed. If doctor is telling you take in morning and in evening after food and take it at the same time every day, so it's to be at the same time every day. ये नहीं कि आज सुबह 9 बजे लिया, कल मेरा मन किया तो मैंने सुबह 6 बजे ले लिया, क्योंकि 6 बजे लेने के बाद रात को तो मैं 9 बजे ले रही हूँ ना, तो बीच में इतना लंबा टाइम हो गया कि that will give bacteria to time to bacteria to mold itself. Then comes viral infection. Now viral infection के लिए first of all सबसे important तो prevention है, which comes from vaccination, immunization. Okay. Now a lot of viral infection के against we also have antiviral drugs. But antiviral drugs, they don't kill the virus. They stop the virus from growing. So virus keeps sending its products to different cells. तो ये antiviral drugs क्या करते हैं कि उस process को रोक देते हैं. So in some days जो हमारा सेल, एक ही सेल इन्फेक्टेड जो था, in some days सेल ही मर जाएगा because every cell has a life, right? RBCs have 120 days का लाइफ स्पैन, तो that cell will die in some time. बट उसका ग्रोथ, वायरस का ग्रोथ आगे नहीं गया है, बस वो सेल के अंदर था, सेल मर गया तो साथ में वायरस भी मर जाएगा, तो इन समटे patient will be free of infection. But antivirals do not kill the virus directly. Okay, and also antivirals are not effective against all the infections. Antivirals का रोल में कब आए थे? जब एड्स बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ने लगा था हमारी पॉपुलेशन में, तो साइंटिस्ट ने कहा अब तो कुछ करना पड़ेगा. So they came up with drugs which stopped AIDS infection. So those were the antivirals. उसके बाद फिर और भी हमने antivirals बनाए जो और कुछ एक वायरस के अगेंस्ट इफेक्टिव है, हर्पीस के अगेंस्ट है, फ्लू के अगेंस्ट है, अभी कोरोना के अगेंस्ट भी हाइड्रोक्सीक्लोरोक्विन वो कहते हैं वो यूज करने के लिए, बट इट इज नॉट एन एंटीवायरल, इट्स एन एंटीबायोटिक व्हिच इनडायरेक्टली हैज इफेक्ट ऑन इट्स ग्रोथ. ओके, सो हर वायरस के अगेंस्ट एंटीबायोटिक नहीं अवेलेबल है, बहुत कम वायरसेस हैं फॉर विच एंटीवायरल्स वर्क. Now antibiotics are not effective for viral infection. Antibiotics are given only and only for bacterial infection. Viral infection के लिए antibiotics देते ही नहीं हैं. So a lot of us have a habit कि हमें खांसी जुकाम हो गया, लास्ट टाइम डॉक्टर ने हमें ऑगमेंटिन या अमोक्सिसिलिन टैबलेट दिया था या एजिथ्रोमाइसिन दिया था, लास्ट टाइम इट वाज इफेक्टिव, सो दिस टाइम आल्सो इट विल बी इफेक्टिव, सो आई जस्ट टेक विदाउट शोइंग इट टू डॉक्टर, बट दैट्स रॉन्ग बिकॉज लास्ट टाइम वाज बैक्टीरियल, सो डॉक्टर ने दिया, दिस टाइम इट्स जस्ट वायरल एंड आई एम टेकिंग एंटीबायोटिक, वो वायरस को तो मारेगा नहीं बट इट इज किलिंग द नॉर्मल बैक्टीरिया इन माई बॉडी. सो नॉर्मल बैक्टीरिया को मार दे तो फिर मुझे बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन भी हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज समथिंग विच शुड बी अवॉइडेड. डू नॉट स्टार्ट टेकिंग एंटीबायोटिक्स ऑन योर ओन, because if it is a viral infection then antibiotics will have no work, they'll only cause harm to your body. Then most viral infection, by the way, if they are mild they will tend to go resolve on their own. Okay, flu वगैरह तुमने देखा होगा, even if you're not taking antibiotics sometimes it will just go away in 2 to 3 days. ऐसे cough हुआ था पर सही हो गया थोड़े दिनों में, because most of the time it's viral flu and it resolves on its own within a week. And treatment is generally aimed at providing relief. फ्लू के साथ मुझे फीवर हुआ, फीवर इतना ज़्यादा हो रहा है कि मेरे से कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है, आई एम फीलिंग वेरी सिक, सो आई गिव पैरासिटामोल. ओके, आई गिव पैरासिटामोल टू द पेशेंट कि तुम्हें फीवर से आराम पड़ जाएगा. या फिर बहुत ज़्यादा बॉडी पेन हो रहा है, सो आई गिव आइबुप्रोफेन कि एटलीस्ट बॉडी पेन में रिलीफ पड़ जाएगा. गले में बहुत ज़्यादा दर्द हो रहा है, आई गिव लोसेंजेस कि गले में दर्द नहीं होना चाहिए, द पेशेंट शुड बी एबल टू ईट. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वायरल इन्फेक्शन के अंदर व्हेन वी आर ट्रीटिंग द पेशेंट इट्स मोस्टली सिम्टोमेटिक. Now this is something which I wanted to show to you guys. So if it is streptococcal throat, which by the way doctor will tell you, the spots I was talking about कि throat के अंदर white spots might be present which will show that it is a bacterial infection. It's called strep throat. Strep throat के अंदर या whooping cough के अंदर या कोई urinary tract infection, all of these are caused by bacteria. So in this antibiotics have to be taken. Doctor will give you antibiotics and you have to take those antibiotics. Sinus infection, middle infection, इनके अंदर बैक्टीरिया की वजह से भी हो सकते हैं, वायरस की वजह से भी हो सकते हैं. सो यू हैव टू गो टू डॉक्टर, दे विल डू सम टेस्टिंग, दे विल टेल यू व्हाट इट इज एंड देन इफ दे थिंक इट्स बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन दे विल गिव यू एंटीबायोटिक्स एंड यू हैव टू टेक इट. ओके, एंड देन कम्स टू ब्रोंकाइटिस एंड चेस्ट कोल्ड एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. दीज ऑल्सो कैन बी बैक्टीरिया और वायरस, बट इन दिस एंटीबायोटिक्स आर नॉट सजेस्टेड. ये हम बात कर रहे हैं इन अदरवाइज हेल्दी पीपल. इफ अ पेशेंट इज इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड एंड पेशेंट को ब्रोंकाइटिस हो रहा है या चेस्ट में कंजेशन हो रहा है, सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स उसके अंदर हमारा जो पॉजिटिव ऑर्गेनिज्म होगा वो बैक्टीरियल होगा जहाँ पे एंटीबायोटिक लेना पड़ेगा. बट इफ आई एम एब्सोल्युटली हेल्दी एंड मुझे ऐसे गले में खराश हो रहा है, मतलब सांस के साथ कुछ आवाज़ आ रही है, सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ये सब चीज़ें जो होती हैं वो वायरस की वजह से होती हैं. सो एंटीबायोटिक्स अपने आप से स्टार्ट नहीं करना चाहिए अनलेस डॉक्टर टेल्स यू टू. एंड अगेन देन कॉमन कोल्ड, सो थ्रोट, फ्लू तो वायरस की वजह से ही होता है, तो इसमें नॉट एट ऑल डू नॉट स्टार्ट टेकिंग एंटीबायोटिक्स एट ऑल. ओके, I would like to give some take-home messages. When flu is going around, you should take proper precaution. Wash your hands, drink warm water, rest properly, wear mask. Do not come in contact with the people who are sneezing or coughing. If you have cough, cover your mouth or sneeze or cough into your elbows so that the droplets do not go and inoculate on another person. Then you have to recognize a symptom. Now that you know what all symptoms can be there, you have to recognize them and then you have to consult the doctor as soon as possible. ओके, एंड वॉट एवर डॉक्टर्स टेलिंगे ये टेस्ट करवाना है, वी टेक इट वेरी लाइटली कि डॉक्टर्स का क्या है, वो तो टेस्ट लिखते ही रहते हैं, बट वो टेस्ट लिख रहे हैं तो किसी रीज़न की वजह से लिख रहे हैं. गेट दोज टेस्ट डन एंड आफ्टर दैट दे विल गिव यू प्रिस्क्रिप्शन. यू हैव टू फॉलो द प्रिस्क्रिप्शन वेरी स्ट्रिक्टली. 5 days का कोर्स है तो 5 days का कोर्स करना है, 3 दिन में नहीं छोड़ना है. 7 days का कोर्स है, 7 days के लिए करना है. ये नहीं सोचना कि 3 दिन के लिए और ले लेती हूँ, मेरा तो मतलब दवाई तो है, क्या ही हो जाएगा, 3 दिन के लिए और आई टेक सो दैट आगे इन्फेक्शन ना हो, ऐसे नहीं है, 7 डेज के लिए मतलब 7 डेज के लिए। एंड ऑल्सो द फ्रीक्वेंसी, दिन में 3 बार लेना है, दिन में 2 बार लेना है, गर्म पानी के साथ लेना है, ठंडे पानी के साथ लेना है, खाना खाने से पहले लेना है, खाना खाने के बाद लेना है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, okay? And not just the medicines, the advice is like take steam, do betadine gargles, do salt water gargles, take green vegetables, sleep at least 8 hours a day, all those things I'm telling you, it's like they work magic. We keep treating the patient for 2 weeks, very severe infection 2 to 3 weeks के लिए हम treat करते रहेंगे, we'll keep giving antibiotics to the patient, nothing happens, they start following our advices like you sleep properly, you rest properly, you do steam inhalation, 2 days के अंदर you see the improvement. So when they say all those things, don't take it lightly. मम्मी जो बोलती हैं, घर के नुस्खे कहते हैं ना, मम्मी जो बोलती हैं वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वो ही होता है। एंड ऑल्सो फ्लू एंड ऑल के अंदर तो वही इफेक्टिव होता है बिकॉज एंटीबायोटिक्स तो काम करेंगी नहीं। एंड ऑल्सो आफ्टर यू हैव फिनिश्ड योर ट्रीटमेंट, आफ्टर यू हैव गॉटन द टेस्ट डन एंड ऑल, डॉक्टर्स विल यूजुअली टेल यू टू follow up with them even if you're okay, you have become absolutely fine, if the doctor has told you to come and follow up, you come and follow up. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि बॉडी के अंदर एक थोड़ा सा इन्फेक्शन रह जाता है कि हमारे सिम्टम्स तो नहीं आ रहे हैं अभी बाहर, लेकिन बॉडी के अंदर इन्फेक्शन है, मुझे पता है कि इस वाला बैक्टीरिया ऐसा है कि इट विल स्टे इन बॉडी इवन आफ्टर द ट्रीटमेंट. So if I'm telling you to come and meet me after it, maybe I have something in mind. I want to see if the infection is still there, even if you're feeling okay, infection is still there. क्योंकि मैंने अगर उसका अभी जड़ से नहीं निकाला तो वो वापस से होता रहेगा. So follow up is very important. Okay, this was all from my side, guys. Fungal के बारे में okay. So because I have not mentioned about fungal infections in this, is the slide sharing still on? Okay, I'll just stop it. Okay, so fungal infections के बारे में, fungal infections are not very common. In a healthy person, you will not see fungal infection. If anyone is getting fungal infection, that means कि body का immunity कम है. Okay, the most common fungal infections that you or I will come across will be usually skin infections. Underarms में itching हो रहा है, यहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ ring सा बन गया है, कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है, ringworm जिससे हम कहते हैं, वो एड्स वगैरह आते हैं ना, इचिंग हो रहा है, ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो दोज आर फंगल इन्फेक्शंस दैट हैपेंस क्योंकि हम प्रॉपर्ली क्लीन नहीं कर रहे हैं उस एरिया को. यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा स्वेटिंग हो रहा है तो पीएच बदल गया हमारे अंडर आर्म्स का. सो ऑल दोज थिंग्स विल कॉज फंगल इन्फेक्शन विच आर वेरी सुपरफिशियल, वेरी माइल्ड, नॉट टू बी स्केयर्ड ऑफ देम. डॉक्टर को दिखाओ, दे विल गिव मेडिकेशन फॉर अ वीक, सही हो जाता है. कभी कभी इट बिकम्स वेरी सिवियर. द सिवियर फॉर्म्स ऑफ फंगल इन्फेक्शन आर वेरी वेरी डेंजरस. If they go to your lungs, if a fungal infection has gone to lungs, if a fungal infection has gone into your blood, that is the most serious type of infection a microbe can cause. That those are emergencies. But what you and I need to know is fungal infection के बारे में कि we have to keep ourselves healthy, hygiene का ख्याल रखना है. As long as we're doing that, we won't get fungal infections. Okay.
So there are questions related to malaria. Malaria, is it common in Indian system?
I'm not. Ma'am, voice is breaking. Can you repeat it?
Okay, so there was a question because 2 of the girls are reading about malaria and they are researching in malaria and protozoan diseases.
Okay.
So is malaria very common in Indian scenario?
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, so malaria, if you're reading about it, you will know that malaria parasite infects red blood cells. Okay. So इसमें genetics बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है क्योंकि RBC जो हमारे होते हैं उसके ऊपर your RBC, my RBC, हर किसी का RBC दिखने में सेम होता है, but it has different properties depending on genetics. The proteins and all differ on it. तो हमारा जो इंडियन जेनेटिक्स ऐसा होता है कि मलेरियल पैरासाइट के लिए इट्स ईजियर टू अटैच टू इट. इट्स मॉर्फोलॉजी वगैरह ऐसा होता है कि हम लोगों के लिए ईजी होता है टू गेट दैट इन्फेक्शन. ऑल्सो बिकॉज वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ ओवर क्राउडिंग. इंडिया में पर स्क्वायर फीट पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है. ओके, एंड वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ अनहाइजीनिक लिविंग एनवायरनमेंट्स, मतलब कलेक्शन ऑफ वाटर हो रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा. इवन इन नाइस गुड सोसाइटीज ऑल्सो यू सी गटर खुला हुआ है, ओवरफ्लोइंग ऑफ गटर हो रहा है. ऑल दोज थिंग्स विल कॉज टू ब्रीडिंग ऑफ मस्कीटोज. अब मस्कीटो ब्रीड हो रहा है, वो एनोफिलीज मस्कीटो अगर ब्रीड हो रहा है उसके अंदर इन्फेक्शन है obviously, and लोग इतने सारे हैं आसपास तो it will go and start feeding over the people. So main reason कि इंडिया में ज़्यादा है is because of this. क्योंकि हमारा लिविंग लाइफस्टाइल जो है वो बहुत खराब है एंड इट encourages the parasite to grow in our environment. But if the genetics का वो हमारे इसमें लाते हैं तो वो इतना ज़्यादा इंडिया में रोल नहीं प्ले करता है. बट साउथ अफ्रीकन जैसे एग्जांपल है ये कि साउथ अफ्रीकन जो लोग होते हैं उनके अंदर सिकल सेल एनीमिया का ट्रेट होता है, विच मीन्स कि उनका आरबीसी का शेप अलग होता है. इट्स हमारा आरबीसी इज लाइक दिस बाइकॉन्केव. ओके, उनका आरबीसी सिकल के जैसे होता है, ऐसे इस टाइप का आरबीसी होता है उनका. सो इस आरबीसी के अंदर पैरासाइट घुस ही नहीं पाता. अब पैरासाइट घुस ही नहीं पाता है तो इसका मतलब उनको इन्फेक्शन नहीं होगा, क्योंकि साउथ अफ्रीका में इतना ज़्यादा था पहले मलेरिया कि उनकी बॉडी ने एक तरीके से ये मैकेनिज्म निकाल लिया कि उनकी बॉडी ने उनको एक और डिजीज दे दी कि उनको मलेरिया ना हो. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव टू रिमेंबर. बट इंडिया में मेन रीजन कि इतना ज़्यादा है इज बिकॉज ऑफ ओवर क्राउडिंग एंड अनहाइजीनिक लिविंग लाइफस्टाइल्स. ओके.
So there are questions coming in, and I'll start putting the questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the Q&A session. There have been a lot of questions coming in. Do you people have whatever Dr. Umang said? Do you want to say the same questions by yourself, or do you want me to ask the questions?
Yes, Piyu.
Ma'am, I had a question. Can malaria cause a contagion?
Contagion. Okay, first of all, what do you mean by contagion?
Ma'am, is it contagious?
Yeah, malaria is not contagious. So, okay, so contagious की जब हम बात करते हैं, virus almost all the time is contagious. Okay, but the bacteria and the parasites are not always contagious, and parasites most of the time, parasite मतलब समझ आता है, parasite मतलब कि हमारे पास कुछ होना चाहिए, उसके ऊपर आके चिपक गया है एंड उसके ऊपर ही वो लिव कर रहा है. तो पैरासाइट नीड्स अ वेक्टर, अ लिविंग वेक्टर, मतलब या तो मस्कीटो के अंदर होगा या फिर जानवर के अंदर होगा. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स, सो इट नीड्स अ वेक्टर फॉर ट्रांसमिशन. तो ऐसे मेरे हाथ मिलाने से मुझे मलेरिया है तो मेरे हाथ मिलाने से यू वोंट गेट मलेरिया. उसका एक लाइफ साइकिल है पैरासाइट का. लाइफ साइकिल क्या है कि एनोफिलीस मस्कीटो के अंदर होता है. वो मस्कीटो हमें काटता है, उससे मलेरिया हमारी बॉडी के अंदर जाता है, ब्लड सेल्स में जाता है, फिर लिवर में जाता है, मल्टीप्लाई होता है, वहां से और ब्लड सेल्स में जाता है. ठीक है, वापस से मस्कीटो हमें काटता है तो वो मस्कीटो के अंदर चला जाता है और वो वापस से मस्कीटो के अंदर मल्टीप्लाई होता है, फिर वही मस्कीटो किसी और को काटेगा तो उसको वो इन्फेक्शन हो जाएगा. ओके, सो इट डिपेंड्स totally on the life cycle of the causative organism कि वो contagious है या नहीं है. If an organism needs vector, then it will not be contagious. Okay.
Mom, I had a question. What is norovirus?
What is norovirus? Norovirus it causes respiratory. Actually, norovirus in the images काफी बार mentioned था. It's not a very common virus. You should not be worried about it. I should have striked it off. But it's one of the viruses that cause respiratory infection. Also, sometimes it may show some GI symptoms, mainly respiratory infection.
So I have a question. What are the common diseases you will come across many times? Means you have a season, means a particular season you see many diseases coming in, or a particular season many seasons, or in a particular region of the country has certain diseases.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask this question.
Ma'am, okay. So it also in OPD पे जब आते हैं patients, तो most of the time the most common disease that we come across is upper respiratory tract infection. Upper respiratory में आता है nose, throat and trachea. Trachea तक हमारा upper respiratory tract होता है. So most of the time patients have the upper respiratory tract infection which will be viral. But India में क्योंकि हमारा immunity is not that, मतलब हमारा hygiene is not that good and हमारा खाना पीना is not that good. So viral infection की वजह से most of the time bacterial infection होता ही है. So as I said earlier कि viral infection में we don't give antibiotics, but India में if you go with the cough toward any doctor, they'll give you antibiotics irrespective if it's viral or bacterial, क्योंकि Indian population का tendency है कि they'll develop bacterial infection irrespective. आज नहीं तो कल हो ही जाना है. So most of the time तो upper respiratory tract infection होता है. देन उसमें सबसे कॉमन होता है स्टैफिलोकोकल इन्फेक्शन विच इज बैक्टीरियल वायरल, जो कि इन्फ्लुएंजा मतलब फ्लू होता है, उसके बाद आता है हमारा दिस स्टैफिलोकोकस. Then other in females a lot of time we come across UTI, urinary tract infection. Okay, that will be caused because of Klebsiella and all common organisms होते हैं, positive organism. एक हफ्ते के एंटीबायोटिक्स में यूजुअली आराम पड़ जाता है, बट इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन द सिवियरिटी. all these infections that come to us are very mild usually. Severe बहुत कम आते हैं. जब severe आता है तो we have to admit the patients. Then in India we come across a lot of the one disease. अगर हमारे पास patient आ रहा है with cough, with weight loss, with fever, first thing we rule out is tuberculosis. The first thing we have to, irrespective of what department I am sitting in, if I am OBG, if I am ENT, if I am medicine, if I am surgery, first thing I will be doing is ruling out tuberculosis, because in India the incidence is very very high. It's very very high. A lot of people are asymptomatic also, so मतलब करना ही करना है. अगर तुम्हें जरा सा भी सस्पिशन है तो TB you have to rule out. So you get chest X-ray done, all these things you do. So TB is very common that we come across. Then these days sexually transmitted diseases बहुत बढ़ गया है. तो हम मतलब OPD में पेशेंट आया किसी और वजह से, हमने एडमिट किया. सो इन hospital there's a protocol for all the patients. We will do testing for HIV and HBsAg, hepatitis B and HIV. रीजन क्या है? क्योंकि इंडिया में इनका इंसिडेंस बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहा है. Okay, so these are the few common diseases that we have to keep in mind when the patient comes to us. मतलब इनको मतलब they're always there. तुम patient को देखोगे तो you'll feel you want to get him tested for. Sometimes patient will be very thin. Patient को difficulty in breathing हो रहा है, emaciated है. If patient is like that, then you'll understand that something is majorly wrong with the immune system of the patient. So you'll get him tested for TB, you'll get him tested for HIV. So these are
is HIV or sexually transmitted disease come into viral infection or bacterial or fungal or protozoan?
Ma'am, HIV is not, we can't say all the sexually transmitted disease किसके अंदर आता है. There is a heading called sexually transmitted disease. उसके अंदर भी it can be viral, it can be bacterial, it can be protozoal. Okay, but HIV AIDS, when we talk about, it's human immunodeficiency virus. So that particular AIDS is caused by virus.
Okay. So I'm taking up few questions which okay. Are there disease caused by algae?
Yes.
There's a question.
Yes.
Are there any diseases caused by algae? It was asked by Pihu only.
No. Algae does not cause diseases. When we say algae तो हमारी बॉडी के बाहर रहता है, वो हमारी बॉडी में मैनिफेस्ट ही नहीं कर सकता है. ठीक है, तो algae से ह्यूमन के अंदर डिजीज नहीं होता है.
Okay, so there was a question from Shaurya. What devices are used by doctors to diagnose microbes?
To diagnose microbes. Yeah, so these are what I have told you. So microbes को अगर when we are saying diagnostic मतलब एक clear cut proof होना चाहिए हमारे पास कि भैया हमारे पास ये आया. So diagnose करने के लिए microbe को diagnose करने का मतलब क्या है कि आपने microbe देखा है. ठीक है, तो short thing तो है कि आप माइक्रोस्कोपी करो. You will take a sample, you let the microbe grow for some time in the culture, and then you'll observe it under microscope. If you have a GI tract infection, उसके अंदर तो माइक्रोस्कोपी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. They'll tell you to defecate in छोटा सा कंटेनर देते हैं, and then they'll observe it under the microscope. Most of the time protozoal infection होते हैं ये, and उसके अंदर we see eggs of the organism or something like that. So वो होता है जो sure cut होता है. Then next thing comes is serology or immunology, which I talked about. Whatever हमारी बॉडी के अंदर इन्फेक्शन हो रहा है, इट विल लीड टू प्रोडक्शन ऑफ सम एंटीबॉडीज, एंड अगर हमें वो एंटीबॉडीज बॉडी में मिल गया है तो हमारे पास वो एक वो हो जाता है. इट इज अ प्रूफ. हमने ऑल्दो ऑर्गेनिज्म नहीं देखा है, बट इट इज अ प्रूफ दैट वी हैव दैट इन्फेक्शन. Sometimes we also test for the proteins on the organism. Every organism has particular protein, particular toxins related to it. So we also test for those toxins or proteins. So if they come positive, that means we have the infection.
So there was a question again. There was Arnav who said that are algae diseases transmittable?
Algae से वही. So when we talk about algae एल्गी से डिजीज होता ही नहीं है.
Okay.
हाँ, so एल्गी से डिजीज नहीं होता तो हम ट्रांसमिट भी नहीं कर सकते हैं.
So, okay, there's a question. What is the difference between a droplet and airborne?
या सो इसके अंदर एक बहुत ही मतलब छोटा सा एक डिफरेंस होता है. व्हेन वी सेइंग ड्रॉपलेट ट्रांसमिशन, जब हम बात करें ड्रॉपलेट ट्रांसमिशन की, तो यूजुअली वी आर टॉकिंग डायरेक्ट ट्रांसमिशन. ओके, दैट आई coughed out some of the organism in my with all my saliva and everything. वो ड्रॉपलेट डायरेक्टली सामने वाला ने इनहेल कर लिया, दैट विल बी कॉल्ड ड्रॉपलेट ट्रांसमिशन. ओके, एयरबॉर्न क्या होता है कि कभी कभी हवा के अंदर ऐसे हर चीज तो नहीं उड़ सकती. If something is heavier than air, it will fall down. Okay, but sometimes when I'm sneezing or coughing, इतने छोटे particles create होते हैं कि वो they're lighter than air, so they remain suspended in air. और उन particles के अंदर microorganism होता है. So that and हर microorganism का viability is different. So if viability is 6 hours, तो 6 hours के अंदर अगर कोई वहाँ से pass हुआ and that person has inhaled that particular small drop, micro droplet, so that person will get the infection. This is called airborne. Okay.
So there is a question, ma'am. Ma'am, are virus parasites?
Virus are not parasites. I can understand the sense that you are talking about. Virus भी एक तरह से parasite होता है because it feeds off another living organism. But when we come to classification, जो हम बायो में पढ़ते हैं, तो पैरासाइट हमारे अलग उसमें आता है. पैरासाइट इज डिफरेंट, वायरस इज डिफरेंट. पैरासाइट के मतलब अलग आता है, तो यू डोंट कंपेयर पैरासाइट एंड वायरस.
So there's a question, is curing the patient of flu, bacteria and viral easy?
Is curing the
A patient from either flu or bacteria or viral easy, or it becomes complicated in time?
Okay, so again, it depends on the severity of the disease. Also, when you say flu, diarrhea or viral, since हमारा ये class हो गया है, I want you guys at least to not make that blunder. When you are saying viral, viral मतलब क्या है? Viral मतलब virus से किया हुआ. Okay, या viral मतलब that is going around. So when we are saying मुझे viral हो गया है, उसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. It has literally no meaning. I have viral cough. I have viral diarrhea. That makes sense. Diarrhea can be viral, it can be bacterial, it can be fungal. So just viral means nothing. So since you guys in layman language they use it, कहते हैं viral हो गया करके, हमें patient को समझाना होता है तो हम बोलते हैं कि आपको viral है. ऐसे हमें समझाना पड़ता है because उन्हें समझ नहीं आता. But since now you guys know it, so don't use it ऐसे ही viral हो गया. Say viral infection, bacterial infection, viral cough, इस तरीके से. So treatment वही virus का एज सच कोई ट्रीटमेंट नहीं होता है. एंटीवायरल्स वी डोंट ऑलवेज प्रिस्क्राइब, क्योंकि सिम्टम्स यूजुअली माइल्ड होते हैं एंड इट्स अ सेल्फ लिमिटिंग डिजीज. बॉडी के अंदर इतना इम्यूनिटी होता है कि वो थोड़े दिनों में वायरस को खत्म कर देता है. अगर सिम्टम्स ज़्यादा सिवियर हो गए हैं तो वी ट्राई गिविंग एंटीवायरल्स. एंटीवायरल्स भी हर ऑर्गेनिज्म के अगेंस्ट नहीं होता है. अगर एंटीवायरल है अगेंस्ट उसके तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, तो हम ट्रीट कर पाएंगे. पर अगर एंटीवायरल नहीं एग्जिस्ट करता है एंड द डिजीज हैज बिकम वेरी सिवियर, तो इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू ट्रीट. क्योंकि हम ट्रीट क्या कर रहे हैं, हम ट्रीट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि वायरस ने मेरी बॉडी के अंदर गया और उसने लंग इन्फेक्शन कॉज कर दिया, तो मैं लंग इन्फेक्शन को कंट्रोल कर रही हूँ. उसने लिवर में प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर दी, तो मैं लिवर की प्रॉब्लम कंट्रोल कर रही हूँ, मैं फीवर कम कर रही हूँ, मैं खांसी कम कर रही हूँ, पर मेरे पास एंटीवायरल ही नहीं है कि मैं वायरल को खत्म कर सकूँ. सो एज लॉन्ग एज बॉडी खुद से वायरस को नहीं खत्म कर पाएगी तब तक द डिजीज विल बिकम वर्स. So if once viral diseases are very easy to treat as long as they're mild. Once they become severe, they are more difficult than bacterial disease to treat.
So there is a question, how do we take throat swab?
Okay, so to take throat swab, that's very nice that you guys are interested in this. You have gone to ENT doctor, बचपन में कभी डॉक्टर के पास गए हैं, so they put one ऐसे आइसक्रीम स्टिक जैसा कुछ होता है, वो टंग पे ऐसे आ करने के लिए बोलते हैं, and they put it on the place it on the tongue. Actually, I'll show it to you just a minute. Okay, fine. So this is what we call as tongue depressor. Okay. So इसके दो arms होते हैं. एक के अंदर तुम you can see there's a curve over here. Okay, over here there is no curve, right? So जहाँ पे curve है, that end I'll use to hold. The other, this is called the tongue blade. The whole thing is called tongue depressor. So we tell the patient to do ah. We use this to press the tongue down. Okay, so tongue down करने से क्या होगा? हमारे throat के अंदर we have tonsils, we have posterior pharyngeal wall. I put a photo also over here. I'll try to show. एक minute. Okay, this is not that good a photo. Okay, so you have, so first we depress, tell the patient to say ah, then we depress the tongue, we expose all the structures that are there, and जो हमारा एक basic protocol होता है जो हमें follow करना होता है, we earbud जैसा दिखता है swab. The swab looks like earbud. Okay, you hold it pencil की तरह, you ऐसे roll करके we have to scrape off from the tonsil on left side then on right side. मतलब both the sides से we have to take the sample, roll करना होता है over the tonsil and then from the posterior pharyngeal wall. So this three places से we'll take the swab usually. Okay, this is how we, and बहुत simple है, कुछ नहीं है, तुम लोग भी ले सकते हो throat swab को.
Okay, so there is a question. Malaria is contagious?
Yeah, that was Pihu's question. I answered that.
Okay, so fungal infection can be spread by droplets. Can fungal infection be spread by droplets?
Yeah, if fungal infection is going to respiratory tract, any fungal infection that is going to respiratory tract can be spread by droplets. Okay.
So there is a question: how effective is the current medication given for malaria?
Malaria के लिए तो we have a huge group of medications. So malaria is very much treatable right now. It's not a big deal if a person gets malaria. The problem malaria के साथ क्या होता है? If the person में इतना severe infection, the patient has come to us with a very severe infection कि उसका hemoglobin only is very low. Like hemoglobin which should be above 12 ideally. If the hemoglobin of the patient when the patient has come to us is 4 or 5, that time it becomes very difficult because patient का immunity बहुत बिगड़ गया है. So we have to fix the hemoglobin. If the patient is weak, so the patient will not be able to tolerate the medication also. So that time it becomes difficult. Otherwise, malaria ke against so many drugs are there that I can't list all of them only. So it is quite treatable. The medicines are very effective.
So do any of you have any questions? Because I loved the session and it was very, very, very informative. Because normally we do not have that much of information. We do not understand what is the difference. It was very clear with the information that, yeah, we can identify this. So any of you have any questions? Guys, you're muted.
Yes. Arnav is typing something.
What?
Arnav is typing something, ma'am.
Okay, Arnav is typing something.
Okay, the name of some fungal diseases. I can't think of any right now. I don't know why. But okay, wait, I'll look it up. They're not that difficult. You might have come across some of the names. So,
Tanush has said that, ma'am, please also tell some viral diseases.
viral diseases. Okay, fine.
So, tell me, Umang, how bad is Corona?
Ma'am,
As
actually,
across India.
ma'am, Corona, India actually, जैसा हमारा population है, उसके हिसाब से तो we have really managed it very, very well. Because when it came to India, the cases started coming over here. We had suspected कि अभी तक lakhs में पहुंच जाएगा. By May, we were suspecting जैसा numbers foreign में अलग-अलग countries में हुआ था. So we had suspected कि by the end of May, मतलब by May, June तक हमारा lakhs में पहुंच जाएगा, which has not reached that. It's not gotten that worse because we took all the steps needed very early and we took it quite seriously. So it's not that bad. And also corona as an infection is not that dangerous. A lot of people, it's most of the people may the infection is very mild. Someone saying something?
So there are questions pouring in, but we are falling short of time, Umang. I would appreciate that everyone, if we can unmute and say thank you to Umang ma'am. And I really loved it. After so long, Umang,
Yeah.
seeing you as means seeing you as a person who is delivering. I have never seen you as delivering.
Ma'am,
So it,
delivering in front of you, ma'am. It's an honor.
so it makes me proud, and I am
Ma'am,
really
can you
really
name
proud
some
of.
viral diseases?
Yeah.
Can you name some viral diseases?
Yeah, viral diseases are HIV, AIDS, influenza, coronavirus, Ebola, and what other viral diseases commonly you can hear of.
So
Uh,
do we find Ebola in India? It's a
no, ma'am,
big
Ebola
time
India
question.
में नहीं आया, ma'am.
Okay.
Ebola India में नहीं आया. Thankfully, it didn't come to India. Ebola was worse than coronavirus. क्योंकि
Okay. Is it
Ebola,
a contagious?
yeah, virus, ma'am, viral infections are contagious.
Yeah.
Viral infection is contagious. So yeah, so all these influenza and HIV, AIDS, all these diseases are viral diseases. Okay, you'll come across these names: coronavirus, Ebola, and other also. I don't know if yellow fever you've heard of. I don't know if you've heard of these diseases. They're not very common. They're severe diseases. They're not very common, but they all are viral diseases.
So when I was going to South Africa, I had to take a shot of
Yeah.
yellow fever because it's very normal. So I was
Yes.
going to Kenya, so I had to take it, and it is
Yeah.
only uh, in government hospitals, and you have to make a
Yeah.
prior appointment
Yeah.
for it.
Yes, ma'am. All these testing, so basically because in India these are not very common. So but क्योंकि तो ये सब बहुत इसका टेस्टिंग बहुत कॉन्टिन्यूसली नहीं होता है तो बहुत कहीं कहीं पे अवेलेबल होता है बट व्हेन वी गोइंग अब्रॉड तो उनके एक ना बहुत सारे इवन इफ यू गो टू यूएस और एनी प्लेस लाइक दैट दे
Yeah.
गिव यू बहुत लंबा सा लिस्ट देते हैं वो कि ये टेस्ट ये टेस्ट बिकॉज जो डिजीज यहाँ पे है दे डोंट वांट कि वहाँ पे जाके हमें होए या जो डिजीज वहाँ पर है they don't want कि हम वहाँ पे जाए और हमें वो हो जाए फिर हम वापस इंडिया लेके आए so they want us to get vaccinated for those diseases so they'll
Right.
tell you to take a lot of shots and all also.
So today's session, I really loved it. We took your lot of time, Umang. It is almost half hours. I said it would be 1 hour, but it was really very informative, and I really enjoyed it. I hope all the students also loved it and they enjoyed it. We are very thankful, Umang, to give us so much time for.
Thank you, ma'am, for
And take us
having
as
me here, ma'am. When you messaged me, I was like, oh my god, wow. I told mama also. मैंने कहा मम्मा गीतिका मैम का मैसेज आया था, and she was telling me कि she has students, she wants me to talk, and I was feeling so nice about it. I was like I'll prepare properly, okay, because I'll be teaching and all to my teacher students. So it was, and your group of they're very smart people, ma'am. Like इस age group में we too didn't know about all these things.
So they
Generations
are
are
doing a PBL and they're going for an NGC certification. So it needs a local. When they're doing this, they have to ask questions from a local doctor, and then a virologist who is working internationally.
Okay.
So comparing the data. So this is something recently they have started. I hope they get certified.
That will be very exciting, ma'am. Please keep me updated about what's happening.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. And yeah, so someone had asked about the fungal diseases, right? So fungal diseases, I don't know, I'll mention few of them, but you might not have come across it. We call something as mucormycosis. Mucormycosis is basically caused by mucor fungus, which will form a ball inside our sinuses. So that we have to remove surgically. Then there's something called as otomycosis. It is the fungal infection of ear. Then there are infections like rhinosporidiosis, Seabury and all causes that. So there are a lot of fungal infections, but that's what they're not very common. So you will barely hear about them.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we have fungal infections on the scalp and
Yeah. That's what the most common. Pura skin. Our full body is covered by skin. No. The most common fungal infection that we will come across is all the skin wala only. Underarms में हो जाएगा, scalp पे हो जाएगा, elbows पे यहाँ पे हो जाएगा, then knees के पीछे हो जाता है. A lot of time people who are really fat and they have lot of like यहाँ पे बहुत सारा folds होता है abdomen पे, उसके बीच में fungal infection हो जाता है. तो fungus जो होता है वो हमारा humidity में grow करता है. It grows in humidity and in dirt. ब्रेड के ऊपर तुमने रख दिया तो ब्रेड में वो मॉइस्चर आ जाएगा तो उसके ऊपर फंगस ग्रो होने लगता है, क्योंकि वो ब्रेड सड़ने लगता है एंड उस पर ह्यूमिडिटी भी होता है तो इट स्टार्ट्स ग्रोइंग, डेब्री के ऊपर ग्रो करता है. सो इफ यू नॉट क्लीनिंग योर एरियाज प्रॉपर्ली, इफ इट्स ह्यूमिड, स्वेट बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, सो दैट टाइम वहाँ पे फंगल इन्फेक्शन का चांसेस रहता है. स्कैल्प इज नॉट वेरी कॉमन फंगल इन्फेक्शन, बट होता है एंड इट्स वेरी like very problematic for the patient.
Yeah.
Even all the dandruff and all that we talk, right? Even dandruff and all, this is a kind of fungal infection only.
So guys, please unmute yourself. Say thank you, and it was really nice. Umang, it was
Thank you,
genuinely
ma'am.
nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you guys for being such a good audience.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Umang, I
you so
will be sending this recording, and with your permission, be posting this recording.
Sure, ma'am.